Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. It is Sat Chat time. I hope you're having a wonderful week. A disclaimer as always, this is Sat Chat. This is not a tutorial. You're not going to learn anything, but if you do, it's purely coincidental. This is just the weekly fireside chat, if you will, get together with the friends in the community. And yeah, we just set the world to rights, don't we, every Saturday morning? Get your coffee going, maybe a little breakfast if you indulge in breakfast. Oh, that sounded bad. Oh my word. You know what? I should have another disclaimer. Sometimes I talk about food and health things, and I know that irritates people, so consider yourself warned to all the triggers I could potentially bring up. I mean, seriously, there could be a lot. I don't know. I was doing a painting tutorial. I actually filmed it today. I'm filming this Thursday afternoon. It's 3:22 in the afternoon. I'm filming it on Thursday because I'm going out to dinner with my friend Glenna, who I bunny sat for while she was on vacation week before last, and so she's taking me out to Utopia tonight for dinner, and they have a lot of vegetarian options, a lot of vegan stuff, so I'm very excited for that. And I figured, well, since I'm gonna do my hair and makeup anyway, and I'm a hobo 99.9% of the time, I'm gonna take advantage of that and film my Sat Chat while I'm at it. You guys get the highly edited version, because that's what social media is, friends. Anytime you think that everybody else has it all together and you don't, just think of the sketchy hobo over here, the cellar dweller making art in her basement. No, we do not have it all together. Nobody does. We're all in, you know, scrunchies and, you know, paint-stained jeans and, you know, holy socks, I don't know. We're all a mess. We are all a mess. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, because that's how life is. And yeah, I just feel like it needs to be said. So I was doing that painting here. This is on my channel, real-time tutorial of this. It actually, I like how it came out. When I'm looking at it now, I'm like, you know what, I like that. However, painting it was another story. I was getting frustrated because it's kind of like I wanted to just explore and paint, but I gotta get a video up because I've been slacking big time. And maybe it's resting, maybe I just needed a period of rest, but I'm just like having a hard time getting going. And I was watching TV, I was watching the show. Oh my gosh, it's so good, you guys. It's called Firefly Lane and it's on Netflix. And if you love Dead to Me, you'll love Firefly Lane. It's just like one of those great shows of like really good friends. And it's like, I don't know if men would like it, but it's like female friendship and just so good. It is so juicy and good and meaty. I guess it's just so good. And every episode ends and you just want to watch the next one there. Ooh, I think it was the same people that wrote Dead to Me did that one. Oh, the book, well, it's based on a book, but I bet they have the same, maybe some of the same screenwriters or something, because it just like hooks you. And I'm like, you know, when I'm sitting there and I'm eating my lunch and I usually watch something when I'm eating my lunch. And I was like, I want to watch another episode. Then I'm like, why shouldn't I watch another episode? I work hard. I deserve to watch another episode. And then like 2 hours later, I'm like, oh my word, I need to get some work done. So yeah, I've been slacking it big time the last couple of weeks. So anyways, really good show. And so I'm down to the wire. Like, I've got to get a video up today. I don't like to let more than 2 days go between an upload. Every other day is what I usually do. Sometimes I have 2 in a row, like Saturdays and Sundays. I try to have a video up both days because those are, you know, days where more people have time to watch. And I was just kind of talking about like how you know, we can just become such a slave to the expectations of social media and trying to like win this game, this crazy game of Jumanji that, you know, as soon as you learn the rules are going to change. It's just, it's insane. It's insane. It's just insane. It's like an addict or a gambler or something. It's, anyways, so I went down a rabbit hole during that painting, but I painted the whole time, so you can mute me as always. So that's up on my YouTube channel now. I told you last week, I went down to see my daughter Lila. They got a really good grade on their project. Lila said it was the best one. I don't know, I haven't seen the other ones, but I want to see them when they're gonna put them on Vimeo so I can see them. And, or not just so I can see them, that's just what they do with the project. So I'm really looking forward to that. It was fun, and like I said before, I went to Trader Joe's, and so this week I've been enjoying different things I bought at Trader Joe's. I haven't tried everything, but a couple things that I bought, it was so funny. They had these vegan ice creams, like non-dairy ice creams, and they had one, and I was looking at the box and I was buying it because I didn't know how many was in there, how many servings. It was pretty reasonable compared to like the grocery stores up here, just like the regular run-of-the-mill grocery store. To get like vegan ice cream, dairy-free ice cream, it's expensive. And so I was like, wow, $4, that's crazy. How much is in there? And it's like, a set of serving was 6 cones. There were these little mini chocolate non-dairy ice cream cones. And I'm like, 6 cones is 1 serving, and it's only like 300 calories. And then it gives you the servings for the box if you want to eat the whole box. I'm like, oh my gosh, 6 cones, 1 serving. Oh my word. So I'm like, so each one of those is like 50 calories. I could have one of those little ice cream cones, just 50 calories. So I was just totally excited about that. And then there was this other thing, and it was the box was 1 serving. I picked up the box. It was 6 non-dairy frozen bonbons. And I look at the back to see like how many servings are in there. And it's 6 bonbons, and it said serving size, 1 box, 6 bonbons. And I was like, Trader Joe's, I love how you don't judge me. I just love that. They're like, you know, girl, you're good. Eat the whole box. You're fine. You look great. Don't worry about it. It's just vegan ice cream. How bad can it be? Trader Joe's, it's probably a good thing you are not near to me, because I don't think I could resist. I would be in there all the time. I'd have to definitely set some strict limits. So it's good that Trader Joe's is 2.5 hours away. But I definitely will, next time I'm in the area, go back. It was amazing. I've liked everything that I've tried. I'm trying to think, and I do like those little ice creams, because like you can just have one and it's like satisfy a sweet tooth but not do any damage. So trigger warning. Oh my word, I'm gonna have people up in arms. I talked about diets. Oh. And where else? Oh, we went to Sam's Club last weekend. Jason and I we've been trying to go out to dinner on the weekends, and I went to Sam's Club because I have a Sam's Club card. It's in my name, and you could put a secondary person on your account. And I asked Jason when I got the membership, do you want to be the secondary person? He's like, no, I'm never going to go there. I'm never going to go there without you. And so I gave my secondary person to my friend Glenna. And so if he wants to go to Sam's Club, then I got to go with him. And I could probably change it, but I'm like, well, I think she still uses it, so I don't want to boot her off my Sam's Club. And so we went, and what did I get? Oh, tons of fruit and vegetables. Tons of fruit and vegetables. I don't think I got anything bad. And the day after Sam's Club, I put everything away, and because the kids are home from school now. That's another thing. We'll get into that. The kids are, well, they're kind of home. This is kind of like a wayward hostel for, you know, children that just kind of come in and go and come and go. It's kind of a little unnerving after the empty nest of the last 8 months. But anyway, so bought a bunch of stuff as usual at Sam's Club, all healthy stuff, vegetables, fruits, that sort of things. The things you want to eat in bulk. You want to eat a lot of vegetables. You want to eat a lot of fruit. I am like really good about not wasting food. So if I get the, 27-pound box of spring mix greens, I will eat it, because it's like, I'm not going to let that go bad. And the next morning, I come downstairs to make my coffee, because I bought a coffee maker, by the way. Did I tell you? I've been using the French press since my coffee maker died like a year ago, but with the kids coming back, it's like, no, I gotta have a coffee maker, because I'm not pressing coffee more than once a day. Anyway, I came down to make my coffee, and I saw some ants on the counter, and these teeny tiny little ants. I'm like, where did they come from? It's been really rainy, so I haven't noticed before, like if we had a lot of rain, sometimes ants will come in, but I'm like, where are they coming from? And then I'm like, did I bring them in on the groceries? So then I was like freaking out, and anything that was not in the refrigerator, there was a bag of potatoes on the counter that we just bought at Sam's. I put those in the refrigerator, and of course I Googled, where do ants come from, and how to get rid of them and everything. And I don't know. I don't like to poison things to say send it back to their colonies and they poison their colonies. I don't like that. I just want to like kind of clean and be like, on your way. Maybe I'll sprinkle some sugar outside for you or something, but you don't need to be coming in my house. I don't want to poison you and your colony. So I was like Googling, how do ants work? And do you know how ants work? What happens is the ants come into the house and they get the food and they don't eat it there. No. They take the food back to their colony, and then they feed the food to the larva, which is the little eggs, and then the larva secretes this stuff, and that's what the colony and the queen eats. So in order for ants to survive, they have to go out, find food, bring it back, eat the secretions of the larvae, and keep making more larvae so they can continue to eat. So it's like this endless cycle. Now, I was feeling some existential dread earlier, but I have to say, I'm really glad I'm not an ant. An ant can't just decide it's going to go seek its fortune and go on its own way. It can't. It is forever tied to that colony like a cult. I have never felt so bad for ants, and I think I'm going to start sprinkling candy outside. I think I'm going to buy candy and just kind of toss it around so the ants can have an easier time of it. Candy, that'd probably be a bad idea. Maybe like pixie sticks. Maybe I'll just kind of dump out pixie sticks around. And that's twofold good, because it keeps pixie sticks out of, kids' mouths that would, get tooth decay and whatnot. And it gives it to ants, which are, they need sugar. or protein. They could be protein ants or sugar ants. I also learned that. I didn't realize they don't just like go for anything. They're not like, hey, what do you got, lady? You know, they're going specifically either for sugar or protein. Oh, and I was so afraid because I looked under the cupboard where I keep like cereal and stuff, and I had like a 5-pound bag of sugar that was just open. And luckily there were no ants. I was like, oh, thank goodness they didn't find their way into a cupboard. So I put that into a Ziploc. And I don't buy sugar very often, so you know, it's like I would never even think to look, except I was refilling my big flour jar. If you remember the button jar saga from like 2 years ago, I'd washed that and I filled it with flour. So if you don't know about the button saga from 2 years ago, I'm sure some of you do. Oh, let me know in the comments below if you know what I'm talking about. If you know the button saga, leave a comment saying I know the button saga or buttons or something like that. So my husband was clearing out my brother-in-law's house. His sister, my sister-in-law, passed away, but it's probably, I think it's like 10 years ago. It was a little over 10 years ago. And so our brother-in-law just sold his house and moved into built something smaller. And anyway, so they were clearing it all out. And Wanda used to save white buttons. That was my sister-in-law's name. She was such a dear woman. I miss her so much. So she had this jar, and I am not kidding you. It was this big around. It was bigger around than my torso, and it was like this high, glass jar filled to the brim with white buttons that she clipped off of clothing that she would thrift and then she would crazy quilt with. My husband dumped the buttons into the dumpster and brought back the empty jar. He was so proud of himself. He's like, look, I found you this jar. It was full of buttons, but I dumped the buttons. I'm like, Wanda's white buttons? You got rid of Wanda's white buttons. And I'm still traumatized by it, but you know what? I'm like, I'm gonna use this jar in her memory, and I washed it and I fill it with flour. I fill it with bread flour. Sometimes I go in with my son Jackson, his girlfriend's parents have this big pizza oven and they buy strong flour in bulk, and so sometimes I'll get some flour from them. But otherwise I just buy bread flour at Sam's Club. It's really good quality. I highly recommend it. So much cheaper than the grocery store. So anyway, I refilled that jar. Luckily, there was no ants in that cupboard. They haven't seemed to. There was no trail. They just looked confused. So I think they were just casing the joint to see if it was going to be a good situation for them. But luckily, it was not. They realized that no, she is not to be trifled with. We must go elsewhere, and maybe she'll toss some candy to us. I don't know. So I got one kid home right now. It's also been kind of I've had like zero mental bandwidth. I think that's been my. That's what my issue is. Zero mental bandwidth. Remember when the kids went to college and I was really worried about the empty nest, how am I going to do, how am I going to be, how am I going to like occupy my time? I have to say it was pretty great. Honestly, I missed them. Don't get me wrong, but it just freed up the mental bandwidth because like I wasn't constantly, are they coming, are they going, where are they on the road, they're driving, you know, it was quite fantastic, quite frankly. I'm glad to have them back. So Maisie, so last week when I went to see Lila down in Portland, I filled up the Jeep with whatever she had ready to go, and I brought that home so she would be able to pack herself up in her van and get everything else home. So yesterday, was it yesterday? No, it was the day before, it was Tuesday. Maisie brought her car back packed up full. But that was all. Maisie's more my minimalist, so she had everything. Minimalist is the wrong word. She had everything that she had in her room was packed into her car. So we unloaded that, and honestly, dropped it off in her room, and there it sits. Although I have to say, I really want to organize that room so badly. Literally, the floor is covered with boxes and baskets, and there's like a mini fridge right in front of the door. You can barely. It's a mess. And before she moved back, there was just, that's why I say she's not a minimalist, because there was like probably 4 baskets of clean laundry in her room. There was just stuff everywhere. She's a musician, so there's, you know, instruments everywhere, and yeah, it's just it was just a hot mess. And her closet, oh, the closet. I don't think she's gotten into anything in the closet for the past 2 years because it's just such a mess. So it's like, oh, I just really want to organize it. But it's like, is that overstepping a boundary? Because I don't want to find anything embarrassing, and I wouldn't want to like invade her privacy, but it's such a mess that it would be so satisfying to organize it and see it all neat and tidy and clean. I used to do that when the kids were little. I would ask them, I was like, would it bother you if I went in and organized your room and cleaned it and perhaps threw some stuff away? And they would always just be like, if their room got to that point where I was like, I need to get into that, they would just be relieved, right? They would be like, go for it, Mom. Because they would be like, I can't part with this thing. But it's like, if I wouldn't throw anything away that meant anything to them, but this stuff that they hadn't touched in years, but I knew they kind of like, oh, well, maybe I'll use it. You know how it is. We're crafters. We know that we might maybe we haven't used this glue in 4 years, but tomorrow may be the day that project needs this glue. Hey, I get it. I am a hoarder at heart. I'm a recovering hoarder, I think, because or a collector. I know everything has potential. When you're an artist, everything has potential, and my kids have that gene. They've got that, you know, that, well, it could be good for something. I might use it someday. My son doesn't. My son is actually very minimal, but still, he's not wasteful. He's not wasteful. My kids are good kids. I'm not judging anybody else's kids if they're wasteful. You get your own. When you point the finger, you're pointing through back at yourself, so I'm not judging. That's a stoic thing. You are strict with yourself, but have tolerance for others. That's another thing I've been reading up on, stoicism. Anyway, because nobody says, hey, that Lindsay, she's pretty stoic. I used to think stoic meant just kind of quiet and calm and keeps to themselves and isn't like, you know, I'm definitely, but I'm, you know, I like the principles, though. Where was I? Oh, so yeah, I totally want to go in there and organize her room, because when I used to do that when they were kids, they would love it. They'd come home from school and they'd be so happy and their rooms would be so neat. They'd go in there and play for hours because everything was findable and organized. So so I was telling Lila that. I'm like, oh, I just want to go into Maisie's room and organize it. She's like, you should. She would love it. But it's like, I'd want to ask her permission, but I also would want to surprise her. She's on a road trip with some girlfriends this week, so she had to get everything home Tuesday and get her car home because she was going to leave from campus with one of her friends, or actually with 3 of her friends, and they were going to drive. So they can't leave the cars behind because graduation, they'd get towed, I'm sure, if they left any cars behind. So that's fun. I'm excited for them. They are having a road trip. You know, nothing like a college road trip, I gotta say. You know, you worry a bit because they're out, but it's like there's 4 of them, they're together. Yeah, what could go wrong? Don't even knock on wood. Yeah, I gotta knock on wood. I can't say that, no, not knock on wood. What else? I don't know. I really don't. So the house smells like incense and it's loud. And I can't concentrate, so we're back to a year ago, I guess. It's good though. Lila's working. She's got a couple jobs. My kids are not slackers, I have to say. They do make themselves useful. They go after what they want. They are go-getters, and I love that. So the jobs that Lila has taken are they're down near where my sister lives. So she's going to be staying with my sister a lot of the summer while she's working these different waitressing jobs. She doesn't want to waitress near us because she doesn't want to wait on anybody she knows, which I can't blame her. And I never would have even thought of that as a kid. That wouldn't even register me. I'm just like, how can I drive the least would have been my consideration. But she's thrilled. She's looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it for her. Hopefully my sister will accept some grocery money because she's going to be running a youth hostel for Weirich children that will be wandering in and out because my son decided to go back to the family business, which is down there. My parents have a business. My sister and her husband work there. So it's going to be a poor sister. I don't think she knows what she signed up for, but she's good. She's definitely, they've always been very welcoming to my children, which I'm glad. She doesn't seem to trust me with her child though, but whatever. I've never been I guess the most, I don't say most trustworthy, but I guess she probably thought I was pretty overwhelmed with 3 of my own. But anyway, I heard this theory. I've heard this theory before, and then I just saw a meme on Facebook, which I swear I need to get off social media. But anyway, this was funny. It's called the 2 beers and a puppy theory, and it's like you can judge a person's character by 2 beers and a puppy. Would you like to have 2 beers with them? And would you let them watch your puppy for the weekend? And if it's yes to both, then you've got a really good friend and you need to hang on to them. If it's yes to the beers but no to the puppy, then, well, you could be friends with them, but you don't totally trust them. If it's yes to the puppy but no to the beers, then you don't really like them, but they are a trustworthy person. And it's like, don't take advantage of people that you wouldn't have beers with to go watch your puppy for the weekend. Come on, people. So since I get often asked to watch random animals, I guess I'm a pretty trustworthy friend. So, and I'm going out to dinner with that friend. So, okay, so yeah, good friend. I'm a good friend. I'm not a sucker. Oh, what else have you been up to? I don't know. It's been a week. It's been a week. So yeah, there's a very, very messy room in my house. But you know what? It's not like I can say the rest of the house isn't an absolute tornado right now. I should be using my time wisely. I have been slacking. I just think I'm overwhelmed, or maybe I don't feel burnt out. I just feel tired. I actually feel better today, but last couple weeks I've just been so exhausted, and it's like, why? Why am I so tired? I don't know. I wake up earlier than I need to. It's like, just let me sleep. Come on, I just want to sleep a little bit longer. And I'm kind of not, I refuse to use the M word, because no, that's not happening. I object. I object. I object. I mean, you ladies know what I mean when I say the M word. I object. I object to it. I do not consent. I dissent to that. I don't know. But other than tiredness, I actually feel fine now. And I guess my tired is probably somebody else's normal. I guess, who knows? Who knows? But I've just been very tired. I think it's the gloomy weather too. We do not get a spring. Our spring is such a sham. It's been so rainy. It's been raining for like months, it seems like. It's went from snow to rain, and there's been no middle ground. Although we do get the occasional sunny days, and every occasional good day, I've been like, I'm going out to paint. I'm slacking off. So I guess I can't complain. Last Thursday I went out to paint with a friend, fellow viewer of the channel, and it was fun. It was great, and I want to do more of that, definitely. Oh, I got a new phone. I've had this phone, the phone that I've been using had for a while, and I realized it doesn't have, I got to download the Google light bulb app. What is it called? Workspace or Notes or whatever. It's where I keep all my notes. And that wasn't on this phone, so I'm going to have to download that. So I had to get my old phone just to find my notes, because every once in a while I write down a random thought that I might, I could talk about this from and Sat Chat, and then I have to hope that I can remember what these keywords I put in there were supposed to trigger in my brain. Trader Joe's Gets Me was one of the notes I put in there, and how ants work was the other note that I put in there. Like, that's something fun I could talk about. Do you guys keep notes like that? And then like you see them, it's like, what the heck did I intend to say there? But anyway, my husband's birthday is Saturday, and it's supposed to be really nice. It's supposed to rain. It's raining right now. It's supposed to be kind of cloudy, rainy, yucky tomorrow, but then Saturday, Sunday, like 70, and then sunny for a week. And then I think it's supposed to rain again. So I hope that we get good weather next weekend, because that's Mother's Day, and my sister's planning stuff, so that's great. She's definitely great to take point on like going places. If you got to go places and do things, she's way better at planning that than me. I am more of a come on over, let's hang out, or I don't know. I don't think I'm the planner. In the family, she's definitely planning the activities. She's better at planning the activities. Although in my friend groups, I would say I might be good at planning activities or rallying the troops. I'm probably a troop rallier more than a planner, because I don't really like to plan. I'll come up with a vague idea, like, here's what we gotta do, guys, and then like somebody else will handle the logistics, because, you know, yeah, you don't want to ask me for directions, and you don't want to ask me how long something's going to take, because the mess room upstairs, I'm expecting that would take me 3 hours. So it would probably take me 2.5 days. But boy, oh boy, do I want to tackle that mess. I think it's partially because if I'm feeling very scattered and overwhelmed, organizing is so satisfying. It's just because you jump in and then you have this mess, and if you're smart, you take a picture so that you can look back and see what a mess you started with. So because sometimes you're like, have it even made any difference? And then you get to see like the before and after. I love a before and after photo. I am addicted to before and after photos, especially like messy houses before and after. Sometimes I'll watch people clean on YouTube. How sad is that? But it's like so satisfying. It's like, oh, look at that mess. Is she gonna get that clean? Oh, look at her scrubbing that. Oh, that's so satisfying. Oh, look at that stuck on. I used to watch the show Hoarders, but that just got a little too sad. You know, I could never watch the Hoarders where the people had pets. I'm like, nope, I'm out. I can't watch that, because I know how, and I'm sure it's a slippery slope, because I think once you've taken an animal, it's easy to take in another one and another one and another one, and you know, it's hard to say no. And it's easier to justify, I think, once you do that. It's like my wayward collection of watercolor palettes. It's harder to say no whenever a new one comes along. Boy, are you enjoying your therapy session today? That'll be $95. I don't even know what a therapist charges, because I've never been to one, but I probably should. It's free, yay! I'm not a licensed anything, so take anything with a grain of salt and don't sue me, please. What else? I don't know. I actually have a few other things. I'm going to look through my notes on my old phone because I had a couple other little topics I thought would make really good videos kind of like this where, yeah, we are going to get to the bottom of this. I got a grievance to talk about, and here we go. Like rant videos. I have a few of those I want to film, so I think I might do that because I have some time. I have like an hour and a half before I'm going out to dinner, so yeah, I totally can do that. I do have to hit the post office and the UPS place and the bank, but I think that's more of a tomorrow project than a today project because not only am I going out to eat, but I don't have to drive. I love that. I love when somebody picks me up and takes me somewhere. I don't mind driving, don't get me wrong, but given the choice, I like being a passenger. I just like, you know, where will we go? Where is this? I don't have to worry about parking when I'm the passenger. Parking occupies so much of my time. If I'm going to someplace new, parking will be like that will be like my biggest, where am I going to park? Is there parking? You know, Nate Bargatze has a new Netflix, not Netflix, it's a Amazon special. I don't have Amazon Prime right now, but when I do, that's going to be the first thing I watch. He is so funny. And I've seen some clips on YouTube, and he's talking about being young and like you're up for anything, you'll go anywhere, you'll do anything. And then when you're older, because it's like in your 20s you'll go anywhere, you'll do anything. In your 30s you're like who's going to be there? How late is it? How late are they open? What's the parking situation? I think that was him. I think he said that. But I'm like, yeah, I need to know what the parking situation is. I don't like this, you know, sketchy parking on the street. I don't like to have an app on my phone to be able to park somewhere to pay my parking. I don't like that. I don't want the government or whoever owns these apps knowing where I'm parking my car. I pay with cash most of the time because I don't want the government tracking me. I know, how ironic, because I have a phone, but in my mind, I'm pulling one over on the man in my mind. I'm off the grid. I'm under the wire. Incognito. I'm like the least incognito person in the world. No, that's not true. But I don't exactly, I'm not exactly a quiet person. I'm pretty loud. Noticeable, I suppose. Oh, you know what? I forgot to look, but when we were out painting last week, there was a guy that films like aerial videos of Bangor and Maine, different Maine areas, and he was doing Brewer, and he had his drone. He asked if he could film us, so I'm gonna have to go see if I can find that. If I can, I'm gonna link it in the video description. I totally forgot his name. I'm gonna have to ask Karen what his name was. But I'm gonna try to find that. That would be funny. Well, you know what? I'm only gonna share it if I look thin in the video. If I look fat, yeah, I'm not sharing it. You'll have to do your own Googling. You have to do your own research on that. I'm not gonna share any videos that are unflattering. Except for the ones I put on my channel myself of my own accord. Those are fine. Cause even though you know I'm a bridge troll in my everyday life, I don't wanna put that out. I don't wanna show that on camera. I'm a bridge troll in private. I am a sketchy hobo. That's all. Really, didn't have anything to talk about, but you can find that tutorial, also a card making tutorial where we talk about the problems with doing hobbies that we no longer enjoy. But yeah, check it out. Thank you so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up. Stay zesty. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.